14 tabs open. Only one matters, and you've still spent 20 minutes getting nowhere on any of them. It isn't laziness, and it isn't lack of coffee. It's an invisible tax your brain is paying right now, and today you're going to see the exact bill. Before this video ends, you'll have three things: a number, what each interruption really cost you, three concrete tools to work without that weight, and the reason breaking big things into small pieces lowers anxiety. This isn't motivation. It's how your brain is wired. Let's start with the most expensive lie in modern productivity: the idea that you can do several things at once. You can't. Nobody with a human brain can. What you call multitasking, when the tasks actually require thinking, simply does not exist. What's really happening has another name: task switching. Your attention doesn't split in two. It jumps. It drops one thing, reconfigures, grabs the next, comes back. And that jump, which feels instant and free, is neither one nor the other. Your attention system has a biological bottleneck. It processes one effortful task stream at a time. One channel. Like a one-lane road. You can alternate who passes and even do it fast, but two things never pass at the same moment. And here's the number I promised. The American Psychological Association measured it. Switching between tasks can cut your productivity by up to 40%. 40. Almost half your day, gone, not into the work, but into the jumps between one piece of work and the next. And you don't just lose time. You lose accuracy. One brief interruption, answering a text, glancing at a notification, can raise your error rate by up to 20%. You work more hours and you do them worse. It's the worst possible deal with your own head. There's a subtle reason behind it, and it's called attention residue. Researcher Sophie Leroy showed it. When you leave a task half done to handle another, part of your mind stays behind, stuck to the first one. You're in the meeting, but half your brain is still in the inbox. And that residue is worse when the task you left is still open, unfinished. Your mind keeps chewing on it underneath, even though you think you dropped it. That background hum has a real cost, and you pay it, without noticing, on the very next task. This isn't a coach's opinion. In 2009, a Stanford study published in the journal PNAS compared people who live multitasking with people who don't. The result stings. The heaviest multitaskers were worse at filtering out the irrelevant. Slower to switch tasks. Weaker working memory. Read that again, because it's counterintuitive. The people who practice multitasking the most don't get better at it. They get worse at concentrating in general. You train your brain to be distracted every single day, and it learns the lesson far too well. So how are we doing as a species? Gloria Mark at the University of California has spent 20 years measuring it with a stopwatch. In 2004, the average person could hold a single screen for 2.5 minutes before switching. Today, that number has fallen to 47 seconds. 47 seconds, less than you've been watching this video without switching apps. It's not that you're weak-willed. It's that you live in an environment engineered, screen by screen, notification by notification, to shred your attention into confetti. And your attention's favorite thief fits in your pocket. A 2017 study by Ward and his team found something unsettling. The mere presence of your phone on the desk, even switched off and face down, already reduces your mental capacity. Not from looking at it, from the silent effort of not looking. And here's the dirtiest trap. Jumping between tasks feels productive. Every notification, every fresh tab gives you a little hit of dopamine. You feel motion. But motion isn't progress. You're running on a treadmill, genuinely sweating and calling it a journey. Are there exceptions? Yes. Around 2% of people, they're called supertaskers, really can handle dual tasks without paying the cost. Statistically, you're not one. Neither am I. And building your day as if you were is the quiet root of the whole problem. Now let's connect all of this to what actually brought you here. Anxiety. Because the constant jumping doesn't just make you slow, it makes you feel bad in your body. And to understand why, we need to look at two more pieces of how your head works. First piece, your working memory is tiny. For decades, we said it held 7 things at once. Science revised that down to about 4 items. 4. A giant task has 20 moving parts. It doesn't fit. And what doesn't fit? Overflows. That overflow is precisely the feeling of overwhelm. It's not a flaw in your character. It's your working memory warning you that you stuffed an elephant into a shoebox. The task is almost never too hard. It's too big to hold whole in your mind. Second piece, the Zeigarnik effect. In 1927, psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik noticed something strange. We remember unfinished tasks better than completed ones. An open loop won't go quiet. It knocks. Again. And again. That's why at 3 in the morning, your brain reminds you of that unsent email. Put the 2 pieces together and you have the engine of anxiety. A huge task that won't fit in your memory, plus a pile of open loops knocking nonstop. Every half-done thing is an alarm ringing in the background. 10 open loops are 10 alarms going off at once. So the anxiety of I have 1,000 things is rarely because you're incapable. It's because you're trying to carry everything at once in a mental space that only holds 4. Hear me clearly. The problem isn't you. It's the format you put the work in. And if the problem is the format, so is the solution. It comes down to 2 moves that research backs again and again. 1, one thing at a time. 2, break the big thing into small pieces. It sounds obvious. Almost nobody does it well. Let's see exactly how. Move 1, monotasking. Working on a single thing with everything else out of sight. It's not a luxury for monks on a mountain. It's giving your one lane back the traffic it was built for. No jumps, no jump cost. No residue, and you get your whole head back. And something else happens. Something physical. When you stop jumping, your nervous system calms down. Fewer switches, fewer spikes of alertness, less background tension. Focusing on one thing doesn't just perform better. It feels better. It's the closest thing to calm a workday has. And there's a prize almost no one mentions. When you do one thing, you learn it deeper. Your brain only truly consolidates what it processes without interruption. Concentration isn't just finishing faster. It's recording better what you do. Monotasking is also memory. I can already hear you. But my job demands responding to everything, all the time. I know. Nobody's asking you to monotask for 8 hours straight. I'm asking for blocks. 25 minutes, 1 task, notifications off. Then you check it all together. It's called batching, and it hands focus back in a world that steals it in tiny pieces. Move 2, the one that truly lowers anxiety. Divide. Take that giant task that won't fit in your head and break it until each piece does. But be careful, because this is exactly where almost everyone gets it wrong, and why dividing doesn't work for them. Dividing isn't writing finish the report on a list. That's still the whole elephant, just with a bullet point in front of it. Real dividing is going down to the next concrete physical action. Open the document and type the title. So small it's almost impossible not to do. That's the right size. Psychologist Peter Gollwitzer named the most powerful version of this: implementation intentions. Instead of I'll study, you define when I finish lunch. At 1, I open chapter 3 at the kitchen table. When, where, what. The decision is already made. All that's left is to run it. Why does this tiny piece lower anxiety? Because it gives your brain back exactly what it lost facing the elephant: a sense of control. A small step is doable. And something doable doesn't trip the threat alarm. You swap I can't handle all of this for I can do this one thing now. And this has serious clinical roots. In therapy, it's called behavioral activation, and graded tasks, breaking the big thing into steps you can actually complete, are a proven tool against depression and anxiety. The order matters. You don't get motivated and then act. You act small, and motivation comes after. Because anxiety feeds on avoidance. You avoid the huge task, the relief lasts a while, and the next day the task is bigger and you feel smaller. A minimal step breaks that loop. You don't beat avoidance with willpower. You make it unnecessary by doing the trivial step. And every piece you check off gives you something multitasking never did: A real signal of progress. That hit of dopamine, but this time honest. Earned. Visible progress is fuel. That's why a list of 10 small, checkable things motivates more than one giant task sitting on the horizon. The science of goals confirms it. Locke and Latham, decades of research on objectives. Near concrete goals sustain effort far better than the big, distant one. Write 2 paragraphs. Today moves you. Finish the thesis paralyzes you. Same thesis, different bite size. And those open loops knocking at 3 in the morning? Here's the antidote. When a pending thing shows up in your head, don't carry it. Write it down. Get it out into a trusted list. The Zeigarnik effect calms not only when you finish the task, but the moment you know you have a plan for it. You've got the theory. Let's bring it down to 3 tools you can use tomorrow morning. 3, not 20. Because this video practices what it preaches. One idea at a time. Tool 1, the single task block. Pick one thing. Set a timer for 25 minutes. And the phone in another room, not face down on the desk. In another room. For that block, that task is the only thing that exists in the universe. One lane, one vehicle. Tool 2, break it down to the next physical action. Before starting anything that overwhelms you, write the first step so small it's almost funny. Not do my taxes, but open the folder and put the receipts on the table. Start there. The rest unlocks on its own. Tool 3, the brain dump list. Have one single place, paper, an app, anything where every pending thing goes the instant it appears. Not to do it now. To get it out of your working memory and switch off its alarm. Your head is for thinking, not for storing. Let's see it all together. Start to finish. You have to deliver a report and you've been avoiding it for 3 days. Stomach tight every time you think of it. Multitasking would say, keep it open while you answer emails. We already know how that ends. Residue, errors, and the report, still not done. Let's do it the other way. Brain dump. You empty the other 9 pending things onto paper out of your head. Divide. The first step isn't write the report. It's open a document and paste the 3 section titles. Block. Phone out of the room, 25 minutes, only that. Nothing else exists. What happened there? The task that looked like a mountain became a single step. And you climbed it. Once you climb the first, the second isn't so scary. The anxiety didn't leave because you sat down to calm yourself. It left because you made the threat stop being one. Action first. Calm after. Now, let's be honest about what the science does and doesn't say. The evidence on switching cost and on behavioral activation is robust, but a lot of the round numbers floating around online, like the famous 23 minutes to refocus, are misattributed. Distrust numbers that are too clean, including the ones your favorite coach keeps repeating. And something that genuinely matters. This is education about attention and habits, not treatment. If your anxiety is constant, if it paralyzes you, or if it doesn't ease with any of this, that's not a failure on your part. It's the signal to reach out to a professional. Breaking tasks down helps. It doesn't replace real help when you need it. Underneath all the techniques, there's one idea worth more than any of them. You don't have a discipline problem. You have a finite capacity brain living in an environment of infinite stimulation. Stop fighting your own design. Work with it. One thing. In pieces, with the rest out of sight. And every time you choose a single task instead of 14, you teach your brain the opposite of what the world taught it. That it can hold focus after all. That calm isn't waiting for you at the end of the list. It lives inside each small step you decide to finish completely. Let's go back to those 14 tabs from the start. The answer was never to close them all in one heroic burst of willpower. It was to pick one, make it small, and give it your whole head for 25 minutes. One tab, one step, one thing at a time. So, before you open the next tab, sit with one question. What's the single thing that, if you break it into its tiniest first step, you could start in the next 2 minutes? That step is the whole technique. Everything else is just repeating it.